Hello and good evening, guys. Today it's Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. This will be the weekly Roundup podcast video that was supposed to be uploaded 2 days ago, but yeah, unfortunately, I had some stuff come up. There was a lot of stuff outside of the channel that I needed to do, considering it was a day off from work. So I wanted to make sure that I took that day to get some stuff done. And it didn't help that there were two really good NFL playoff games on Sunday. I did end up watching both of them. And there was a Canucks game Sunday night, which actually it was so nice to have it not start until 7 o'clock Pacific time, which was great. It gave those of us who wanted to watch football a chance to watch the games, then watch the Canucks game afterwards. But speaking of that Canucks game, though, that third jersey of theirs, their current one, is garbage. It's got to go. It is the worst third jersey in Canucks history, and it's not even close. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think the Canucks, up until they unveiled this quote-unquote heritage jersey in the past couple of seasons, the Canucks had never had a bad alternate jersey up until that point, in my opinion. Their very first red third, I know some people say it's salmon. I just say it's red. Maybe I'm wrong. I've always thought that was a cool jersey. I used to love using it when I played NHL 2002 growing up. Or I remember I always have memories where I played NHL 02 a few times wearing that design. Even throughout the years, even in the newer games, I would throw that design and use that design quite a bit. It's always been a cool design in my books. The early to mid 2000s Canucks third jersey, the one with the red or maroon colored gradient, I guess it's called. To me, it's red. You know, as a kid, I didn't like it as much, but as I've gotten older, I find it, compared to the other two jerseys they were wearing at the time, it was actually all right. It wasn't bad. Kind of interesting that the Canucks elected to not have a third jersey until 2008 that did not use a gradient. It wasn't until the 08-09 season that the Canucks finally had a third jersey, a new third jersey, not a throwback, because I know for the 06-07 season, the Canucks did have their throwback royal blue stick and rink jersey as their third. So technically, it was the first third jersey in franchise history that did not have a gradient on it. But what I'm referring to is the first new design that's not a throwback, that didn't have a gradient, which was the modernized stick and rink third jersey. And then, that design I've always liked. It wasn't my favorite jersey in the world, I'm not going to lie, but it's definitely better than the home and away, or the home jersey especially. The away jersey minus the agency font and the Orca, it's a beautiful jersey. It's just the agency font and the corporate Orca ruin it. And I know there's a certain viewer of mine, and if you're watching, hello. I know you would definitely agree with me. Andre, excuse me, clear my throat. But yeah, that new heritage jersey is definitely the worst third jersey in Canucks history. It's not even close. I mean, at this point, I'd just like to see them retire it and replace it with their reverse retro jersey from last season, because in my opinion, that is the first Orca jersey in Canucks history that I actually like. I think the Kelly Green gradient, the Kelly Green shoulder yoke, it's actually a half-decent design. I mean, if the Canucks are so hell-bent on sticking with the Orca, at least give us an Orca jersey that is tolerable. Now, would I want the Canucks to stick with the Orca? No. I'd rather see the Canucks get rid of the Orca altogether, but since they seem so persistent on keeping the Orca, I mean, at least replace that hideous heritage alternate of theirs, well, quote-unquote heritage. It's not worthy of that title because it's so ugly and monochromatic garbage, in my opinion, but I think at the bare minimum, they should make that reverse retro a third jersey for a couple of seasons. It's actually decent. But, speaking of the Canucks, though, I've come to the conclusion that if they want to stick with the Orca, I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to get rid of the royal blue and go back to wearing navy blue. But keep their existing uniform jersey designs, home and away, but replace the royal blue with navy blue. Replace the agency font with the letter and numbering font from the early 2000s jerseys. And replace the stick and rink logo that they've switched to. Get rid of it. I don't like the new version. If they're going to keep that version, fix the stick. All they have to do is fix the stick. The rest of the logo's fine. And then make the shoulder patch navy blue on the away jersey. And if they did that, I actually think that even though it's not my preferred choice, it would be an upgrade over what they're wearing now, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I actually would like to see them finally do a new third jersey for the NHL Canucks that has Johnny Canuck on the front. I think it's overdue, but at this point, I'd just like to see the Canucks finally do a Kelly Green jersey. That's why I was really hoping for a reverse retro of the very first white jersey in Canucks history from the 1970-71 season, but in Kelly Green. I still think that if they're going to bring back the reverse retro program next season, that would be a perfect reverse retro design in my books. But yeah, speaking of jerseys, though, I want to give a shout out to you, Nick. Your beer league concepts, or that actually are real life jerseys for your beer league team, are amazing. I hope you don't mind me shouting you out here in this video, but they look so damn good. I can hardly wait to show everybody on Discord your light version of the royal blue, or I think it's navy blue, isn't it? Yeah, it's navy, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry if I got it wrong, but pretty sure it's navy blue. I can't wait to see the light version of that jersey featured on Discord, on our Discord on Sunday. That's going to be awesome. But yeah, that was a cool concept. And speaking of concepts, I don't know if you guys who follow me on Discord have noticed, but lately I've been really getting excited about the idea of revisiting some of my earliest concepts. Last month, when I saw that new third jersey that the Devils unveiled, that's a stinker. I actually like the design of the jersey itself, but the problem is that's the Blackhawks design. Even though, I know the Newark Bulldogs wore it back in the day, but that design, they got that design from the Blackhawks. Like, New Jersey, come up with your own look, for Christ's sake. But anyway, with the Devils, the New Jersey Devils, in fact, were the very first team I ever made a concept for, where it was half red and half green. I basically took the Buffalo Sabres turd burger design and used it as inspiration to get silly, take a jersey template I found on the internet, and make my very first jersey concept ever. I basically took Buffalo's infamous turd burger alternate jersey from about 8 years ago, and I found a bunch of different ways to make it look even worse, but for the New Jersey Devils. And then I decided, and I looked at the Devils' new third jersey, and I looked at my old Devils concept while I was sifting through some concepts to feature on Discord. And I came to the conclusion, and I thought to myself, why don't I take this concept, revisit it, and make something new based off of it? And that's what led me to making a black New Jersey Devils concept that I actually think is 10 times better than what the Devils wore. Why? Because anything's basically better than what the Devils just unveiled recently. And by the way, Nick made an amazing concept for a Devils black jersey, which is so much better than what the Devils unveiled. I think that's what they should have done for a third jersey, to be honest. But I ended up making that jersey. I made a second version of it with a red shoulder yoke and another version with a slightly tweaked collar. Now, recently, I finally got around to featuring my my orange Anaheim Ducks Stadium Series concept that I made about 8 years ago after their Stadium Series game against the Los Angeles Kings. I still remember Kiss playing a few songs during an intermission on that game, in that game. But that Ducks orange prison jumpsuit uniform, looking back now, it's nothing compared to some of the horrid designs that Adidas has come up with, like Nashville's Smashville disaster of a uniform. I love the design of the jersey itself, but that word mark just completely just defecates over what actually has a potential to be a great design. It was so stupid that Nashville did that design and approved that piece of you-know-what. You know what? That design, that jersey would be better served as toilet paper or as a towel for somebody to wipe themselves off after getting out of a shower. The design of the jersey itself is actually awesome. But Adidas took actually a really good starting point for a great design. I love that bright Nashville gold chest stripe. They put that stupid Smashville word mark on the front. Like, how stupid. All they had to do was put their crest, the saber-toothed tiger, on the front of that jersey, and you've got a jersey that's not only a great Stadium Series design, but a keeper as a full-time third. I'll never understand. They could have even just had a bigger sized version of that guitar pick logo as the logo on that jersey, and that would have been great too. That's all the stupid Predators had to do. And then that stupid Flyers 2019 Stadium Series disaster. And how about those 2020 uniforms? Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Those were horrendous. Completely horrendous. I can't believe the Kings brought those chrome buckets back. They took their new alternate jersey, which is basically a slightly tweaked their white throwback they've been wearing for the past couple of seasons, slightly tweaked, and they added those stupid chrome buckets to it. I mean, Jesus Christ. But anyway, I made a concept for that Ducks Stadium Series jersey from 8 years ago as my way of improving it, and I don't know why I ever thought it was a good idea. It is a horrible concept, and I've actually decided to revisit it, and I can't wait to share what I've come up with on Discord in a couple of weeks. Well, a week and a half from now, basically. That's going to be awesome. I actually made a few versions of it. One of them has a striping style that's better than my original concept, but still, I scrapped. I ended up revising that too because I didn't care for the striping. I know I'm getting very sidetracked and not really talking about anything to really do with what I usually talk about, but I thought I'd have a little bit of extra fun today and just kind of go on the off. Basically, this video is my equivalent of taking a car and driving off-road and just driving in the bush somewhere. That's what I'm doing today. So don't mind me if I'm busy blabbering on about my Discord and some concepts, but I've done that, and I also recently pulled out an old Buffalo Sabres concept that I thought would be my version of improving the infamous turd burger design. 8 years later, that design, that was a bad idea. No wonder so many of my older concepts never got featured on Aesthetics. Jeez, it's almost like in the past couple of years, I finally pulled my head out of my ass and really realized that, hey, Roxilla, your old concepts aren't as good as you thought. Yeah, some of them are really bad, so I might even end up revisiting that Buffalo Sabres one. I probably should. But yeah, no, I've been having a lot of fun revisiting a few of my oldest concepts lately. So cool that I could look back and say, wow, I've actually gotten a little bit better at featuring concepts. Now, hopefully, my goal is to not only improve those concepts, but if I could get those concepts, even one of them featured on Aesthetics at some point, that would be amazing. That would be so cool. But yeah, I mean, if they don't get featured, they don't get featured. It's what it is. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun revisiting some of my oldest concepts. I mean, my Black Devils concepts, my soon-to-be unveiled 2014 Stadium Series revisit. That I can't wait to show that one. I'm really proud of what I've done improving that concept, to be honest. And I might even have to revisit that Buffalo Sabres one. I might have to. I mean, to you viewers watching, I mean, obviously, if you're not on Discord, you don't know what I'm talking about, but... Well, you know what? Yeah. Let's have a little bit of fun today. I mean, as I just said, I've basically this podcast video this week is my equivalent of taking a vehicle and just driving in the middle of the bush somewhere going off-roading. That's basically the purpose of today's video, for me to have a little bit of fun. I don't have a zillion different NFL jersey matchups to cover, so I thought, hey, why don't I just spend tonight, you know, having some fun and talking with you guys, and yeah. Let's see. Let me see if I can't pull it up here. Yeah, so there is a bit of a visual element. Also, when I'm done covering the NFL jersey matchups for this past weekend, I do want to open up a pack of hockey cards, actually, so why the hell is it doing that? But anyway, yeah, you see what I mean about this Buffalo Sabres concept? It hasn't aged well. Ugh, yikes. I tried to be creative, but you see these little slashes here. They were meant to be like sword stripes, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not going to lie. And here, yeah, here's the Anaheim Ducks one I made years ago that I was just complaining about. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if this concept would even get 1.5 stars on aesthetics. Those orange Anaheim Mighty Duck logos on the shoulders are just bad. This template is bad. Yeah, it's just, I think I overthinked on that one a little bit too much. But at the time I was new, so I'm proud of myself for the fact that I took such a weird template and made a design off it. But, oh yeah, so... Okay, here's the very first Devils concept, or this is the very first jersey concept I ever made. I mean, that might actually be able to somehow get featured. I don't know. If I sent this into Aesthetics, I'd laugh if he featured it. It would be such a good freak out. It is so bad. Yeah, it is just so bad. The shoulder yoke, the half black on the back, the half red on the front, the green on the sides. Oh, God. I mean, we've seen some stinkers over the years in terms of jerseys in real life, but that takes the cake. I mean, that is so bad. That makes the Devils' new third jersey look like an absolute gem. And, yeah, I'm not going to pull anything else up here at this point. So I thought I'd have a little bit of fun showing those concepts there. But yeah, I mean, that Ducks concept for being one of my earlier works, I mean, yeah, I mean, the fact that I even came up with that design at the time with my knowledge of concept making was good at the time, but I'm so glad I revisited it. As for that Devils one, basically, I did that one as a quick concept just to say, hey, wow, here's a concept, and I had fun. I had fun taking some time to put it together. Yeah, let's just say I had a lot of fun with that one. I was like, wow, this is my first ever concept. Let's play with paint.net and this jersey template I just downloaded and have some fun, and that's basically what it was. So why don't I jump into something that you actually are used to hearing from me, and that's the NFL uniform matchups for the week. So The Bengals ended up wearing their white jersey with white pants and black socks. Kudos to the Bengals. I mean, even though their away jersey is the worst of their 3 new jerseys, in my opinion, only reason being the lack of orange. I think they needed more orange on it, to be honest. They've done a really good job of their uniform combinations throughout their first season with these new uniforms. I'm very impressed, actually. And they played the Titans, who wore head-to-toe navy, and they actually pulled off a win over Tennessee. I'm completely stunned because Tennessee looked like a great team all season long. They got the bye even, and they came back and they just crapped the bed. Same with Green Bay. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers and the Packers, they wore their standard home and away uniforms, respectively. But yeah, I mean, Green Bay too. I can't believe that both the Titans and the Packers got rusty and lost after their bye weeks. That stinks. For the Packers, I was actually hoping to see Green Bay defeat the 49ers. I was thinking it would have been a really nice NFC championship to see Brady versus Rodgers. That's actually what I wanted to see, but neither of the two won this weekend. Ay, ay, ay. Instead, we're getting an all-California NFC championship game, NFC West matchup between the Rams and the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. So if the Rams win this coming Sunday, it's going to be the second year in a row after over 50 years of a team never playing in the Super Bowl when their city's hosting it. And then this year, if the Rams win this coming Sunday, it'll be the second year in a row that the host city's team is playing in the Super Bowl. I can't see San Francisco defeating the Rams. I just can't. The Rams, the fact that the Rams defeated Tom Brady and the Bucks, I think they're Super Bowl bound. And I think the only team that has a chance at beating the Rams at this point would be the Chiefs. Now, speaking of the Rams, they actually wore their home jersey in Tampa with their gold pants and blue socks. So, I mean, it's the best look they've got at this point. I mean, doesn't take away from the fact their new jerseys suck, in my opinion, but it is what it is. And they played the Bucks, who've really pushed the white jersey with pewter pants and black socks combo because they win so much wearing that uniform, which, hey, if it's your best look, you might as well wear it. Maybe it's good luck. Seems to be, though, on the flip side, that luck ran out on Sunday because the Rams won the game 30-27 on the final play of the game with a game-winning field goal. That was a nail-biter of a game. That game was crazy. Basically, you know what I noticed? Every single game, 3 of the 4 games came down to a game-winning field goal at the last play of the game. That's how close they were. And then the Bills and the Chiefs. So the Bills wore head-to-toe all white. And the Chiefs wore their standard home uniform. That game was incredible. It's just, there were 3 lead changes inside the final 2 minutes of regulation. And then the Chiefs had to get a 49-yard field goal on the last last play of regulation just to force overtime. And then finally the Chiefs had a game-winning touchdown. And wow, that was a very, very incredible game. I don't think I'll forget that game anytime soon. It was incredible. In terms of my favorite uniform matchup between the 4 games, I would have to give it to the 49ers and the Packers. If the Bills would have wore their blue socks with their white jersey and white pants, then it would have been an instant winner. But yeah. My favorite uniform matchup of the weekend was the Packers 49ers. And in number 2, it would definitely be the Chiefs and the Bills. And at number 3, it would have been the Rams and the Bucks. Excuse me. And the worst matchup of all was the Bengals and the Titans. Even though it was the Titans uniform is more to blame than the Bengals. The Bengals away uniform's not the greatest, but it's definitely better than what it's replaced. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, that Chiefs game was absolutely incredible. That Chiefs win. But I gotta, you know what? I'll make a video about it. Forget it. I'm not going to mention it here, but I want to do an NFL overtime rule rant because I don't like the idea of one team getting an offensive play with the ball, or an offensive drive rather, and the other team doesn't get a chance to match. To me, that's not right. That's not right. I mean, I actually feel really bad for Bills fans that, because the Chiefs, I mean, I get that the rules are the rules, but I believe that, you know, for the NFL playoffs, both teams should have a chance at an offensive drive. I don't like the rule. I mean, I was happy with either team winning. Both teams are equally deserving, in my opinion. Were. But I don't like that rule at all. So yeah, so next week we're going to get the Chiefs and the Bengals for the AFC Championship. My prediction is the Chiefs will win. I mean, if the Bengals beat the Chiefs, though, that would be one of the biggest playoff upsets in a long time, in my opinion. And on the flip side, the Rams and the 49ers, San Francisco, they've been a case of, getting hot, a team that's got hot at the right time. So, I mean, I think it'll be a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl, but you never know. It could be a 49ers-Bengals. But I think it's going to be the Chiefs-Rams, I think. But if it's not that, then it will be the Chiefs 49ers. I can't see I can't see the Rams and the Chiefs losing their games. But hey, I didn't think that Tampa Bay was going to lose to LA, and look what happened. And I think I need to go back and kind of rescind a statement, because that Bengals win over the Titans has to be one of the biggest upsets that I've seen in the NFL playoffs in a while. That the fact that the Bengals, they finally have a team that's good enough to make the playoffs. They win the AFC North, which I've never seen the Bengals win the AFC North before as a football fan. And I've basically been a football fan for 13 years now. I've never seen a good Bengals team worthy of a playoff run. I mean, I guess 6 years ago, the Bengals were good enough to make the playoffs. But they clinched the AFC North, which has been a division that's either been a battle, which has always been a battle for as long as I've been a football fan, between the Steelers and the Ravens. Then last season, the Browns finally made the playoffs. They ended up winning a playoff game for the first time in forever. First time they'd made the playoffs in forever. And now, a year later, their division rival that's been in the dumps for years too, the Bengals, they didn't just make the playoffs this year. They won the AFC North. And they defeated the Colts. Or, no, it wasn't the Colts that they defeated. What the hell am I talking about? the Bengals, they ended up defeating... I'm having a brain fart here. Yeah, the Bengals ended up defeating the Raiders. And then this week they played the Titans and they beat Tennessee? That's crazy. I mean, and the fact that even New England made the playoffs just 2 years after losing Tom Brady. That's incredible too, by the way, in my opinion. But, oh yeah, actually, before I wrap up this week's weekly roundup video, let's see. I have, how many packs of hockey cards do I have here? Okay, I got a couple packs. I think I'll probably end up electing to just open the other one after this video. I might do it next week. I might not. I haven't decided yet. But to wrap this week's weekly roundup podcast video up, okay. Wait a second. What was the other captaincy one I got last time? Okay. So another captaincy patch one that I got. This one is Maxime Comtois. He plays for the Ducks. Jonathan Marchessault, who's not just a Vegas Golden Knight, but a golden pain in the butt. In my opinion, because he plays for Vegas. And the Vegas Golden Knights in recent years have, let's just say, they have given a couple of teams that I like a real hard time. One of those teams being the Vancouver Canucks. And finally, Renata Fast. I believe that this is the first time I've ever had a women's hockey card. So, wow, that's cool. Do I have a, what's her name? Rame. I can't think of her name. But she suited up for the Tampa Bay Lightning back in the early 90s for a short time. I think it was for a preseason game. I know her last name's Rame. She's from Quebec, eh? Menon Rame? I can't think of her name. I apologize for not knowing, but I don't think I have a card of hers, but I might. I just can't remember. I'm pretty sure I don't, if I remember correctly, but yeah, I've never had a women's hockey card before, so that's cool. You know what I actually wouldn't mind seeing Tim Hortons do? I think it would be a really good idea. I bet it would sell, but I know their league is not called the National Women's Hockey League anymore. It's called, I think, the Pro Hockey Federation or something, but whatever the new league is, I think it'd be cool if Tim Hortons did a hockey card series for the women's professional league. I think that'd be a really cool change. I think a lot of people would be really in on that. In fact, I would even buy a pack or two if they did that. That would be cool. But you know what? I might just have to make a little fun video involving that. I'm not going to go into the details of what I'm thinking of right now, but I'm not going to really go and elaborate on that any further. But that'll be a fun video idea. Anyway, these are the cards I opened. If you're still watching, still listening, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll call it a wrap at this point. And until next time, guys, as always, take care. And as per usual, bye for now, which good timing because I'm starting to lose my voice. I need something to drink. All right. Don't mind me. Have a good rest of your week, guys. And until my next video, take care. Have a good week. Bye for now.